If you're not doing it like this, you're doing it wrong. Just check out this Team Reload airburst launcher mayhem while we were attempting to extract on Helldive difficulty. Anyways, Arrowhead has a new CEO. That's the colossal news and big takeaway from today's Helldivers news. There's of course more to this story, and from the looks of it, the ship just got a new captain that is totally devoted to getting the game headed back on course. Welcome to the channel, it's LtBuzzLitebeer, and Johan has made it official. There is a new CEO of Arrowhead Games. Where does that put the game and Johan? Well, we've got the details on that as well. We've also got the beginnings of a possible vendor donation currency for in-game items or upgrade system. And of course, we need to talk about the major order. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my daily upload alerts. Johan says they want more blood. Let's hit that drop pod and check out all the latest from Helldivers. Man, oh man, oh man, if we pull off this major order, it's going to be by the skin of our teeth. Now, I did some diving this morning, and we were going in for maximum kill counts, squad members included, but even with our efforts and thousands more divers, the 3.142 billion kill finish line looks to be miles away. This footage was recorded a few hours ago, and we were at 2.321 billion with right around 24 hours to go. And I just don't know. In general, I worry about these long-term major orders that bleed well into the work week. Plus, there's no real prize waiting at the finish line. No mechs, no airburst launchers, no new factions, no experimental tech, just the standard 50 medals. Now, I may be wrong here, but from the current player counts and the progress rate that I'm seeing, this one looks like we might be getting close, but that's gonna be all. Also, before I jump off the galaxy map, and I've already completed it so you don't see it here, but today's daily or personal order for 15 medals is to complete 6 side objectives. And the 2 armor sets for sale in the Superstore are the FS61 Dreadnought Heavy Armor with Servo Assisted, and the B08 Light Gunner Lightweight Armor with extra padding for a higher armor rating. Johan is no longer the CEO at Arrowhead. Now, I was online and actually in-game at the time, and so when I got the Twitter alert, I thought the worst had happened, but it actually looks to be quite the opposite, or at least that's the way I'm reading it. Here's the message directly from the man himself. Quote, "Big update. I've decided to hire Shams Georgiani as the new CEO of Arrowhead Games. We go way back, and I wouldn't trust the business in any other hands than his, and he comes with an impressive resume and love for games. But what about me and my involvement in Helldivers 2? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm taking the role of Chief Creative Officer, which means I will spend more time, and that's all capitalized, more time with the team and 100% of my focus on the games and community. I guess as the CEO and still overall head of the studio, at least that's the way Johan goes on to explain it, he has the ability to appoint himself to whatever post he wants, and the entire thing is kind of designed to relieve him of the daily stresses of running the staff, of running the studio, board meetings, financial discussions, and kind of get back to what he wants to be doing, which is designing games. Johan also gave us a bit of a look behind the curtain as to how he plans to plot out this course correction for Helldivers, which, you know, we've talked about in numerous past uploads, and the fact that it's lost a bit of that wild player power fantasy trip because it's been torn to pieces by stat sheet wielding nerf first balance devs. Take a look at this. Here's a really good question posed to Johan after he made his public statement. Quote, "As CCO, what is your direction in receiving and reviewing player feedback?" Johan's response, very good question. First thing we got to do is ensure we get more devs time playing the game. It's hard to make the right decisions if the eyes aren't on the road. Secondly, I want to ensure we actively look at the sentiment and create a holistic view of why feedback is given. And my working theory is that TTK is too high. All I've got to say to all of this is amen, Johan. Preach on, brother. I play this game a lot, and every time we see one of these crushing primary weapon nerfs, community members respond with questions aimed at the devs, asking the devs to hit Helldive difficulty 9 with this now crushed weapon and stream it live also, so we can see their exercise and futility. If the devs aren't seeing what we see in the live game for themselves, they will never fully appreciate and understand what we're trying to say. And by the way, I'm just throwing this out there, but if any devs want a tour of the game, my open Discord link can be found in the video description. Just join us for some hot drops and bring in that crossbow or lib concussive and get a hands-on taste of how ineffective they truly are. Now, when Johan mentions TTK, which by the way stands for time to kill, that combines a few different sub-genres of the game as well. Sure, it absolutely takes into account overall weapon damage output, but there's also the flip side of enemy armor damage mitigation and or enemy health pools. What happens with Helldivers though is a combo of the two. Weakened weapons versus bullet spongy enemies equals a game that becomes more of a chore than an exhilarating gaming experience. Again, I'm not dunking on Helldivers. I mean, I play it every day. I'm just kind of spelling out the worst case scenarios of how bad it could be, not accurately on where we are at. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say there. It kind of came out weird, but there are super competent players out there that solo Helldive all day long. There's also squads that will crush max difficulty as well, but there's also a big part of the player base that maybe can top out at a difficulty 6 or 7, and to them, they need some relief. They need more ammo, more weapon damage, slightly less elite spawns, you know, that sort of thing. And that's where having someone that prioritizes fun and player involvement is key, and from the looks of it, that's Johan. Helldivers 2 has now sold over 12 million copies and has become PlayStation's fastest selling game, beating out God of War, Uncharted, and even Spider-Man. Insane stats to think over, right? But this GamesIndustry.biz article covers just that and a whole lot more as it sat down to run an interview with both Johan and the newly crowned CEO of Arrowhead, Shams Jordani. It's kind of an interesting read, albeit a bit drawn out, but it again outlines the big Arrowhead news. Johan is taking over as CCO, while Shams will handle the day-to-day business side of the studio. Again, I see this as a win for both the studio, but also, importantly for me, Helldivers. With Johan overseeing the game and the specific changes, I think we're going to start seeing more fun and mayhem brought back into the game, and we'll start seeing it quickly. Helldivers could be seeing a donation system in the future, and this may include rewards like capes, helmets, and armors as we reach certain cap levels. Now, this question was tossed over to Twinbeard via the official Discord server, which, by the way, is rapidly approaching 1 million members, which are sick numbers, by the way. Anyways, Twinbeard took a stab at this one, saying that the team at Arrowhead was brainstorming about various ways of possibly using in-game resources, maybe exchanging them for something else, and the whole concept was in the very early phases of development. Now, I know this is a bit of a hot topic right now. Some players want the cap greatly increased. Others want it kept as is to prevent players from stocking up too much and buying everything new once it comes out. I tend to lead towards the raise the cap camp on this one, but having the ability to buy in-game rewards with resources, further improve my ship, and even receive certain in-game cosmetics once I accumulate a specific amount of resources are all welcome additions. Please and thank you. Please make this happen as quickly as possible. At least that's how I feel about it. Well, we've reached that point where it's probably a great place to press pause for today. How do you read this Johan as CCO situation at Arrowhead? Let me know down in the comment section below. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. All my socials, including an open invite link to my fast-growing Helldivers Discord community, can be found down in the video description as well. Shout out to the nearly 229,000 of you incredible legends from around the world who have punched subscribe and tune in daily to support my content. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.